Let's get the show on the road, shall we, everybody? Let's do it. A little bit of franchise mode. Just straight up goon squatting. The gooning jokes are out of control. Absolutely out of control. So is this team, though. Shout out to Nico, by the way.
Taste the goodness of the biscuit.
Because you see, it makes it sound like suck cocks, but also they're probably from Chicago. We got the first couple of seasons done last night. Shout out to Caden Lindstrom, who we're probably about to name captain. But we have the typical off-season stuff to do before we really get down to business. If I can upgrade a coach, I probably should. It's not that big of an upgrade. How are we on scouts? Have I heard anything about NHL 24? Yes, I'm currently playing it. So wouldn't that get the video demonetized? Because I said the word cock in the opening minute? Probably. I don't care. Censor me. It's a word. Go ahead, YouTube. Censor me. Twitch, let's go. Do it. Anyway. Am I excited or disappointed? Well, given that I'm pretty sure you meant to ask about 25 and not 24, but given that you asked about 24, I was rather disappointed in this video game, yet here I am still playing it. Cam, if Draisaitl hits the open market, it's only a 7-year deal that somebody can give him, unless it's a sign and trade. So, 7-year max in the open market. All right, we need a goaler. Boy, look at those valuable defensemen. 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope. All right, 3 defensemen at least. And then forwards to fill out the squad. Max isn't 8 years anymore. It's 8 years if you stay with your team. 7 years if you hit the open market. All right, UFA goalies. Who's old that we can put in the minors? Tex Williamson, baby. Welcome back, Tex. Here's a shat load of money. There's a shat load of money to you, sir. Defensively, Ryan Suter is still holding on to try and get that cup, apparently. David Rundblad, former Portland Pirate. What a man. What a man, what a man. Who else can we go after? Zach Bogosian. Bogo. The mountain man himself. And Mr. Koivisto. I don't know what your name is. Probably Miko. Mika! So close. So close. We'll get them signed, then we'll go after the forwards. So, David Rundblad famously traded for Mika Zibanejad. Which means he was about as effective as Mika Zibanejad was in the Eastern Conference Final this year. I like that player a lot, but Jesus Christ, Rangers fans have to be frustrated because when he disappears, he fucking disappears. That's crazy. When he's on his game, he's phenomenal, but my God, can he just no-show out of nowhere? It's crazy. Taker, what's going on, by the way? AJ as well. F124 career mode's fucked right now. Yeah, AJ, everything about F124 is, which is why we're not currently streaming it. Much as I'd like to, there's a reason why I'm not playing that game. After, I believe it's Teemu Aranen. Soap with the gifted. To my scaped balls.
Taste the goodness of the biscuit.
Trust me, it feels like Manscaped scraped my balls all right, given that they owe me a couple $100 and ghosted me on my partnership with them. Shout out to Manscaped. Careful doing business with them, fellow streamers. They might just fucking ghost you when they owe you money. Oh, let's see. That said, coincidentally, wearing the shirt today. This comfortable, free shirt. At least I got a free shirt out of it, right? I got a free t-shirt out of it. They owe money that was going to go right to Endo and Sin, but hey, you know, it's fine. We each got a fucking t-shirt out of it. Don't worry about it. A free shirt and exposure. There you go. There you go. Oh, yeah, and a stick of circular deodorant. That's right. That is right. Oh, goodness. The internet and sponsorships like that, it is still it's still the Wild West in a lot of ways. Why did NHL 14 rate Jonathan Taves' defense so good? Because everybody thought he was Patrice Bergeron, but he wasn't Patrice Bergeron. That's why. That would be why. All right. Well, let's give a boatload of money to Magnus Paajarvi again. What about Raid Shadow Legends? They paid me. They were great to work with. So I'll promote them again for free. There you go. By saying their name. Anyway, it's fine. We're moving on. Oh, sign a boatload of people. Think we still need a cap wheel or two? Yeah. Damn. Damn. Low overall dudes. Carter Ashton. Leafs legend. Carter Ashton. Raking in the Cashton with a $17.6 million offer. And former Portland Pirate, Brendan Shinnimin. Beautiful. We love signing former Portland Pirates. Bingo. All right, so let's sim to the start of next season. See what this team looks like. Obviously, we're still going to be trash, but again, hopefully we're improving while still being trash. That will allow us to still get the higher draft picks that we need. That is always a key in a draft of glory, is you don't want to get too good too quickly, which is also what you want to do, but you don't want to do it. You see the complications? There's luck and timing involved. Roster moves. Goal tendies. All right, Kirsch and Russo are looking better. Mauricio Versteeg. He's going to be down in junior with Ottawa unless we play him at the NHL level. Honestly, I think we're going to play him. Do you just know everyone to ever play for the Portland Pirates? Not everyone, but a good amount of people, yeah. Yeah. We're going to send Russo down. I'm going to roll the 48 overall 18-year-old at the NHL level as the backup. Just to try and skyrocket that overall, because he's probably not going to make it otherwise. Defensively, Kuzi in the mix, Shekimovs, Hernan's not ours, Gallagher was the low elite. Patrick Bogosian, Runblad can go down. Who else was drafted by us? Clintwood, the accidental draft pick. Shout out to Nico for the bits, by the way. Lee Richmond and McKinnon. Can I name a Portland Pirate who played for the Blues? That's tough because I'm having to cross-reference like two different rosters. Not offhand, no. That's a tough question. It's like, hey, let me test your St. Louis Blues knowledge. It's like, about that. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hate to say it, but I think Roberto Mancini is going to get dropped. Let's see, for the forwards. Man, Toskala went from a 48 to a 62 in 2 years. Not bad. And then Bootland's the other medium elite that we got that we're going to try to rush to that top level. Brady Wasselin, who we just took this year. Hagos. Zembal kind of sucks, but we could look to call him up unless... Oh, you see, I done goofed. I didn't realize they were already on the NHL roster. So Hemingway, Swick, and Hanula. And for the centers, we can send down Shinnimin. Sawyer is ours. We can send down Ruhama. Okay, so we got to drop 3 players. Man, Caden Lindstrom, by the way, up to an 89 in 2 years, a plus 11, I believe, compared to where he started. Was he a 78 or a 75? It might even be a plus 14. What a beast. What an absolute beast. It's 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay. So, medium bottom 6. Trent Swick's got to go with that AHL potential. Zemball's got to go with that AHL potential. One more guy. It's got to be one of the medium bottom sixes here. It does make sense for it to be Toskala. Just based on age. Or it could be Kalle Hanula. But, Jake, what's going on? Who's the gooniest goon on the team? We did draft an enforcer. Somewhere. There he is. Jody Sawyer. Look at this guy. Look at that guy, huh? Old Jody Sawyer. What a man. Yeah, let's drop Timo Toskala to the AHL. And I think we have our 12. Again, more worried about potential as opposed to overalls at the moment. So, ooh, that +5 though. Love to see that. Let's see. Do you have anybody that's playing out of position? No. I mean, Morin is the only one. Okay. Let's go off of potentials though. So medium elite, medium bottom 6. Best 97 in the league, Jody Sawyer. We got the medium 9 and Sterner. Yeah, Letourneau is a 6. Yes. Medium bottom 6 for Hemingway. Morin's a medium 6. Silverthorne was a medium 6. Although, man, Morin already jumped Aiden Silverthorne. That's not great. We got Hagos at a medium 9. And then a high 6 and 2 medium elites on the top line. Wasselin as a high 6 or Bootland as a low overall medium elite. I think it's got to be Bootland. And then hopefully these three work together. Hopefully, but I think Bootland, we just got to try to get that overall up as quickly as we can. So fourth line. Let's go that way. Man, having Letourneau on the third line is kind of nuts. But in a good way. It just means like we actually have some depth now. Like our center depth is developing rather quickly. We'll go Wasselin, Silverthorne, Morin. I mean, McQueen has better face-offs than Lindstrom, which is annoying, but Bootland, McQueen, Lindstrom. This team's taking shape. The defense is obviously still going to be incredibly rough, but we're getting there. We're getting there. We're getting there. So I have Zhekimovs and Clint Wood, Richmond and McKinnon, and then Kuznetsov and Gallagher. The two low elites that we're kind of banking on developing. Goaltenders, Christian Kirsch, and 48 overall, Mauricio Versteeg. Beautiful. Beautiful. And normally we don't have to check the AHL, but I do have a couple of dudes that I want to make sure are playing. So let me just do that really quickly. Whoops. How the hell did I end up there? Leonov is fine. Steetson and Cheestoff on ours. Okay, we're good. We're good, we're good. The AHL team's going to suck this year, too. What's my opinion on Jack-Eye? Which one? Arbor? Florian? There's rumors that his trade value is insane. Way better than his talent. Where are those rumors coming from? How about your source? There's rumors that Jack-Eye's, I guess Arbor Jack-Eye's value is high. Sure. Young, scrappy guy, injury history. I'm sure people are chomping at the bit to give up a first-round pick for Arbor Jack-Eye. Ryan Reeves went for a first, so it could happen. You know? That said, I've seen first-round pick for Arbor. And I've seen people say that birds are actually spy equipment for the government that charge on the power lines. I've seen a lot of things, Nico. And look, as it is, if Arbor Jacki is apparently worth a first, why don't you just keep him? That first round pick could be anything. It could even be Arbor Jacki. So why don't you keep him if he's that desired? You know? That's the logic there. If he's that desired, wouldn't you want your favorite team to keep him? You know? W-O-O. We need another Q. Need another Q.
Oh, we're doing this again?
Today, shout out to Bulldogs. Hey, Jay, that's pretty sweet, by the way. 7 months from Bulldogs. Thank you for that. Welcome in. Welcome back. How the heck are you? Goodness. Was the conference final Lafreniere's breakout? This postseason was, yeah. I think a lot of people were looking at Lafreniere as like, oh, drifting towards bust territory, which is unfair. Again, the problem with first overall picks is that, and if you're not immediately Connor McDavid or Austin Matthews, people are like, bust! And it's like, that's not necessarily how that works, you know? Like, yes, that's what you want, but also you got to consider the circumstances that players drafted into, how the development of said player is working out. Like, there's a lot that goes into it, right? There's a lot that goes into it. But, yeah, I think this was his first option here. Number 1 overall, Nail Yakupov. The funny thing is, I could be totally wrong, but you look at like what Nail Yakupov was doing. He was at least like an NHL caliber guy, right? Like he wasn't like, oh man, you're an AHL level talent. It's just, he could have stuck around in an NHL lineup, but for whatever reason didn't and went overseas. And then you kind of look at the stat lines over the last couple of years, and it's just like progressively falling down even the KHL order. But yeah, I mean, even Lafreniere up to this point, you know, we're going to call Yakupov a bust, then Lafreniere is nowhere near it, you know? Hypothetically, you get offered a first for Arbor Jacki. Do you take it? No? Yes. I don't... What overall is the pick? And again, if this guy's apparently... If the rumor's out that Arbor Jacki is worth a first, which you watch, by the time this ends up on YouTube, he would have gotten traded for like Draisaitl or some shit, just because the universe is funny that way. Why trade him then if he's worth it? A lot of Habs fans thought that team could make the playoffs this year. That's a fact. That is absolutely a fact. The only team in the Atlantic that was like, we're probably not going to make it. Actually, was there even a single team in the Atlantic where the people were like, we're probably not going to make it? Like, every team in the fucking Atlantic was optimistic. So, you know? All right, let's make things official, by the way. Caden Lindstrom, you are the man. We have had some legendary players in this channel's history rock the sea for the Goonfish. Don't let us down, Caden. Don't let us down. But you are clearly the man to take over. Captain Caden. The letters for now will go to... could be a bunch of centers. Oh, the defensemen have really broken out yet. Yeah, we'll keep Kuzi with the letter. And let's go with the OG Aiden Silverthorne with that other letter. McQueen's got to earn that letter. He's got to earn it. But what do you think Allmark's worth? Connor McDavid. As a Bruins fan, Linus Allmark's worth Connor McDavid. Let's go. And let's be honest, the Bruins are getting robbed on that deal. What do our overall ratings look like for this year, by the way? What do they look like? 62, 42, and a 58. Yikes. Yikes. But, hell of a lot of X factors now for this team. Hell of a lot. Just between Lindstrom, McQueen, and Brady Wasselin. I don't know if Wasselin should be on that second line, though. That makes me nervous. I want that other medium elite to develop by playing with those two, but man, could we potentially stunt Wasselin by not playing him? That is the question. I don't think we can afford to mess up with Brady Wasselin, so we're going to swap him and Bootland. Yeah. That is the play. That works. Lindstrom, McQueen, Wasselin is the top line. Bootland will still be with two very good players, but we can't afford to mess it up with old Brady Wasselin. Too valuable of a player for us. So with that, I do think we are good to go. I don't want to do the whole check to see what every single player looks like. I do, but I don't. Well, actually, you know what? Christian Kirsch, then. Christian Kirsch. Nico, I have. It looks fantastic. What's old goaltender Christian Kirsch? He just looks, he's a dude. But you, sir, are the clear-cut starter on this Goon Squad team. And we need to find what our go-to mask is going to be for the Goon Squad this year. It's obviously not going to be the actual Toledo Walleye because the color scheme does not work at all. I mean, that Willie Nailor's hat, that mask goes hard, though, doesn't it? Doesn't it? What else do we get color scheme-wise that might be a match? I mean, it's only black, red, and white, right? Like, it's not a horrifically complicated situation here. We gotta find that mask that really fits the theme. And all of our starters should... Honestly? That's a different one. Kind of like it's more of a green than a black, though. Interesting. What else do we got? The old Foxes. Rods. Pioneers. Rode these babies for miles. I think, honestly, we have it. I think we got the one. In terms of color scheme, I think we're pretty good. I think. This is a better one in the Extraliga. Not really. Not really. German masks are still basic as shit. It's really weird what leagues they've redone the masks for and which ones they haven't. Like SHL, Liga, they've been the same for over a decade. They do update the AHL a lot. But I think we have a winner. Although, man, these Utica masks are sick, though, aren't they? God damn. Yeah, I think we got our winner with Wheeling. Especially too, that way we know no one else in the game will be wearing it. There we go. We got a winner. We got a winner. We have to encourage confidence in Mr. Kirsch to lose a crap load of hockey games this year, but still be optimistic about the future. Let's see how this goes. We've had some times so far in our couple of seasons we've experienced so far. How long will it take for our first win? That is the question. A while is the... We call this the John Gibson. Hey, we beat the Boston Bruins for our first win. Let's go. And the Canucks, less than a week later. And Nashville, look at that. 5 wins for the boys. And then they lost 10-1. And then they beat San Jose again. San Jose, our punching bag, as has become tradition. 6 wins already, though. I was not expecting that. Make it 7. How the hell do we have 7 wins already? 8. My God. We might actually hit 15. God damn. 11-1 loss to Edmonton, though. Jesus. 8-28. No, still not a single overtime or shootout loss. There it is. second you mention it, of course. Still stuck on 8 wins. Let's actually take a look at the draft class a bit early this year. Well, pressure's on to get the number 1 overall pick. Emil Mebus, the 6-foot power forward. Franchise power forward. Fuck. Oh, man. Now, we have had some bad lottery luck so far. For the most part. Oh, man. Guaranteed big tipper, puck on it. Oh, my God. Oh, boy, do we need... Oh, dude, the fact that there's a high elite defenseman. And we can't get him because he's an OFD. Jesus. Looks like Chris Park is a DFD, so at least we have somewhat of a backup plan built in. There's no way that guy's an enforcer, of course, but we'll let the scouts continue to work. Abyss, indeed. As we beat LA for 9 wins on the year. There's 10. One more to hit the over as we get absolutely pooped on by the Sharks. We set the line at 10.5, and there is the over. Oh, no one could win the big under. There you go. NHL 24 franchise mode fun. It's all right. It's still not a perfect experience. The mode itself, it's getting better. There are still things that need to be changed and addressed over future releases, as Johnny Gaudreau has been traded to the San Jose Sharks. Yeah, if you haven't played an NHL franchise in 5 years, then yeah. Are all defensemen still like an 81 by year 10 except for a few elite dudes? Fun fact, Laser, that's one of the things that needs to be changed. Medium 4 defensemen do not fucking develop. That's one of the big issues in the game, for sure. 10 plus years into a franchise, the money situation can get a little bit wonky as well. So... the roster sharing someone out of Utah to franchise, but there's a problem. There are 4 players that are double. My question is there a way to get rid of them after I started? No. Once you've started, they're just there. You can fix it if you restart the mode, but... so, like I said, it is a mode that's getting better. Nico, yes it is. As the stream title says as well. Not to be a dick, but every time someone's like, is this what this is? It's like, the stream title, man. It's right there. I always put in the stream title what we're doing. Every time. But yeah. This mode is getting better. It's still got a ways to go. I am, at the moment, cautiously optimistic for 25. However, if their rosters are still shit, that is still going to absolutely limit my personal enjoyment of the game. I think overall, you can make a franchise mode as good as you want. If something like the rosters are shit, it's going to take away from how good the mode can be. And guess what? It takes a little bit of time for someone, whether or not it's myself, Tactics, Vassy, whoever the hell, Glove Save, Snipe with his flashback rosters. Those take time. So... we finished this year with 14 wins. Obviously, we're not going to the playoffs. Nico, it's okay. As the Toronto Maple Leafs have not won the President's Trophy. It's gone to Colorado again. We'll obviously see how the playoffs shake out. But 34 points this year, which is a new franchise record. 34 points, baby. Let's go. Only 10 points behind Vegas, by the way. Holy hell. What are the odds NHL 25's on PC? Probably not great, given that most sports games aren't on PC, and if they are, they suck. Because they don't want to put a ton of resources into it. So, wouldn't hold your breath on that. Like, ever. Not saying it can't happen, but, I mean, you might get Half-Life 3 before sports games start getting consistently good PC ports. It might be a while. I need to see how any rule changes for this draft to glory. Just straightforward draft to glory, but GOON squad, meaning grinders, power forwards, enforcers on offense, DFDs and enforcers on defense, goaltenders fully open. But there's no trading, no major free agent signings. Got to build up to the draft. We are going to check Vegas's roster to see why they were shit. That's why I backed out there. And apparently I should take a look at the lines because guys like Cutter Gauthier have developed big time. Wow. That Vegas team probably shouldn't have been that bad. But at the same time, I don't think anybody has any sympathy for them because it's the Vegas Golden Knights and most people hate the Vegas Golden Knights. So, I mean, that is hardly the worst AI team I've ever seen, you know? Even in goal, like, they're fine. It's not great, but yeah, I mean, for whatever reason, they were horrific. Absolutely horrific. But we were worse, which means we do have the #1 lottery odds to potentially draft a franchise power forward first overall. But you could argue we already have a franchise level power forward. He is our captain, Caden Lindstrom, who has developed Gold Big Rig. We finally have a Gold X Factor, and it's our captain, the 3rd overall pick in 2024, Caden Lindstrom. Now has that full house of abilities. Big Rig, not my preferred option. It makes sense given the player type. It would have been nice to have it be Schneip or something. He'd score more goals. But I'm not complaining. Caden Lindstrom in a contract year, by the way. Yikes. He's going to be expensive. Roger McQueen. Very good season for Roger as well, given the circumstances. Attack. Good morning. No gold ability for Roger yet. Got 1 more year left on his ELC. Silverthorne, 53 points. God, medium top 6s struggle to develop too, just like the defensive counterpart, medium top 4 happens to. They just don't make those guys good enough. Brady Wasselin, no gold developed. I don't even know if he went up in overall yet. So, did it upgrade to go to just give? No, he developed it. I don't edit players to have abilities or anything. Zach Morin on 50 points. Letourneau only on 34. But all in all, pretty happy with the development that season. Kuznetsov, 21 points, which is phenomenal, given the state of our team. Goalie-wise, no surprise, Versteeg got absolutely lit up. Kirsch did okay. Knowing how bad this team is, Kirsch actually did okay. Around the league, scoring was back up. Pasta, 72 goals, 119 points. Yeah, McKinnon up there, 65 goals for Bedard. Jesus. Nichushkin was up there. Gensel. Matthias Payarvi, a generated dude from a few years ago. We had 5 players hit at least 60 goals, though. Pasta hit 72. Payarvi at 69. Bedard, Matthews, Panarin. And then hitting 50, Gensel, Michael Menard, another generated dude, Nathan McKinnon, and Connor McDavid. Now 30. Defensively, stats-wise, who's the worst goalie to win a cup since 2010? I don't fucking know. How am I supposed to know that off the top of my head? What kind of question is that? If you ask Boston Sports Radio, it's Tuukka Rask, who's apparently the worst goalie of all time. He didn't even win it as a starter. That makes him the worst. Antiniemi's probably a good shout, yeah. I can't legally say Bennington or Blues fans will deliver a dump truck's worth of salt to my front door. And by Blues fans, I mean Monkey Dude 22. I'm not allowed to say Jordan Bennington. Let's see, 34 goals for Roman Josi. Goddamn. And then goalie-wise, 47 wins for Stuart Skinner. Save percentage later. Oh, man. So, yeah, goalie save percentages were down. Shesterkin at a 9.11. There is just no consistency, regardless of what scoring setting you're on, with the stats. It is just the Wild West. No surprise to see Demidov up there. He ripped the AHL apart previously. Wasselin did finish top 4 in scoring, though, amongst rookies. Again, we're never going to have a rookie win the Calder in the early stages. The plus-minus will always disqualify them. Always. Shout out to Adam Sikora, though, who had a hell of a year. Hell of a year. And then for Shats and Giggles, who was the hit leader? Caden Lindstrom, let's go! Nearly a point per game player. The NHL's hit leader. Jacob Tromba throwing those elbows up there. Boy, that's leadership right there. You got Boone Jenner. Zach Morin's up there, too. Top 4 in checks. And, of course, our defense is up there for block shots because they're under siege. 18 fights for Vyacheslav Tootin. Of course, Ryan Reeves retired. Yeah, we didn't really have anybody who was way up there for fights. So, but fair enough. Those are the stats for the year. Let's see how the playoffs shake up. And then we go to the drafts, where there is a franchise power forward awaiting whoever gets the first overall pick. Again, our team still looking good, given the circumstances. We could technically have an even better team. We need this guy. We need this guy, and we will probably lose the lottery, let's be honest. So, the guy that was 3rd overall went to Columbus, Vigilante. So Chris Park is there. We're pretty much guaranteed, unless we fall out of the top 3, to land Park or Meebus. If it's not one of those two, we're looking at Aiden Wisniewski and hoping. I mean, he is a DFD. I mean, Wisniewski might not be too bad, but man, the quality dip is nuts. Watching Ender and somehow Columbus won the Cup year 2. Guess who the Conn Smythe winner was? Boone Jenner. The Toronto Maple Leafs have won the Stanley Cup for the 2nd year in a row. 4 years in, we have seen 2 Hurricanes Cups and 2 Leafs Cups. Ridiculous. I don't think I've ever seen a franchise mode start off with 2 sets of repeat winners. That is incredibly uncommon. But the Maple Leafs get it done, beating... For the 2nd time in 4 years, we have seen Vancouver lose the Stanley Cup final in Game 7 because it happened to them against Carolina in one of the previous seasons. Tremendous. An all-Canadian final, the Toronto Maple Leafs have gone back-to-back. The 50s and 60s are back, boys. Speaking of which, if you want to learn all about the Toronto Maple Leafs and their Stanley Cup pedigree of the past, well, let me tell you, there's a phenomenal video out on my channel that you may have missed. I stand by it. I stand by it. It didn't do too well, and that's okay, because I stand by it. But it's this bad boy. This bad boy right here. Greatest Stanley Cup winning team ever. Who's number 1? I'll never tell. Anyway. Check that out if you haven't. AR, what's going on? Mitch Marner may have won the Conn Smythe again. John Tavares killed it. Matthews is up there. JT Miller was on Vancouver, though, obviously. Who was the Leafs goalie? Was it still Samsonov? Hugo Alnefelt. 903 save percentage was enough to win the Cup. Fair enough. Fair enough. Let's see. In terms of the awards, Pasternak wins the Art Ross, as well as the Hart Trophy, stopping McKinnon's back-to-back run. Evan Bouchard wins the Norris. Pasternak the Bing, the Calder to Demidov. No surprise. Conn Smythe to Mitch Marner for the 2nd year in a row. This is tremendous. Stuart Skinner wins the Vezina. Jennings to Eustace. I think Ryan Leonard's going to change his mind after. So I don't fucking know. Sure. Let's say sure. I'm trying not to be a jerk, but people keep asking these questions like, how the fuck am I supposed to know? Shout out to Hansen, also known as Fanson. Winning the Jack Adams. Logan Cooley wins the Selkie on Utah. You got David Pasternak winning the Ted Lindsay and the Rocket Richard. Hell of a year for him. In terms of the AHL, the Rockford Ice Hogs have won the Calder Cup. 4 different winners for the Calder Cup. James Hagens, most points. Baryozkin. Yeah. He won MVP. Top goals, Frondel. Theodorov was the top rookie. And Oliver Shillington, the top defenseman. Top goaltender, Kaapo Kakkonen. The MVP of the playoffs, Lars Edher. The Bruins go back to their old jersey, stick with the dude. I don't know. The word was it was only supposed to be for 1 year, but if they decide to keep that beautiful thing over there, I'm perfectly cool with it. Criminy. Anyway, are we ready to lose the draft lottery? Because we know what's going to happen. You get a player like that available with the number 1 lottery odds, there's no way you win the draft. Dude, he's 17 as well. Jesus Christ. Please. Just don't let us fall out of the top 3 at the very least. Come on. Fucking hell! Of course! We fall to 3rd, Washington and Ottawa. No franchise power forward for us. And Phil Kessel retired. Is life even worth living? We don't get the power forward and Phil Kessel retires? Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. As Drew Doughty apparently retired as a Flyer. Policy around trades? No trades. No trades allowed. OV2 for Washington. Every time. Ryan Suter becomes a coach. Every time. Well, let's hope that defenseman's still there. With the first overall pick, the Washington Capitals select Mebus. It's twice now we've missed out on a franchise power forward, if I'm not mistaken. Ottawa, there's a high elite OFD. Thank you for taking him. DuPont. So 3rd overall, that leaves us with Chris Park, 17-year-old defenseman from the Saginaw Spirits. If not him, now here's the problem. He is not a confirmed DFD, but at that size, goddamn it, he's got to be. Because if we don't take him, let's look at Aiden Wisniewski. Hold on, we might have to do a little bit of research here. There's also Alexis Joseph. How tall were you? 6'4"? Again, if I take someone who's not the right player type, we got to trade him. So if our scouts did not know for sure, it's risky to take them. I just want to look at everybody who's projected to go in and around the 1st round. Okay. Let's call a timeout because we're going to need it. And no franchise players, so it can never be easy. For goalies, there were 2. Eric 2 and Cooper Hubbard. Eric 2 looks like he could be a generational goalie, but that doesn't matter in this game, like ever. He and Hubbard are both pretty good. So we'll hope that Hubbard falls to us in round 2 with the first pick of round 2. Defensively, Wisniewski. Was there anybody else other than Wisniewski and Park? Yeah, that was a shitload of guys. There's Reese Maloney. Apparently 1 year out. Potential's not looking good, but he is a confirmed DFD. Yeah, but interviewing players takes time, and that's boring. Marcel Talbot. Potentially an NHL-ready enforcer? There's no way. Sean Duclair. God damn, a lot of these guys are looking really good. Except for Svensson. We're definitely not taking him yet. How good does Wisniewski look? Wisniewski looks fantastic. Guaranteed truculence. But then there's Park. Dude, if he's not a DFD with a Chara comparison, what the hell even is this video game? Right? Like, come on. And then there's only one forward. It's Alexis Joseph. Might have an E in skating. 2 years out. Unconfirmed abilities. If we miss out on a franchise-level power forward, and then it turns out that this guy isn't a DFD, I might just go to bed. I might just have to say we're done here for tonight and just take the fat L and move on. Chris Park, thank God. Well, we have our leader on defense, and it is Chris Park, an 80 overall medium elite defensive defenseman with Ice Pack and Relentless of all abilities. He gets the Bobby Orr ability. So, not ideal, obviously, but had it not been for Meebus, we would have been happy with Park pretty much any other year. The big question now, who's going to be available with this next pick? Let's go back through the first round and see how it played out with certain player types. Let's see. Wisniewski was also really good. We couldn't have really gone wrong. Yeah, either way. Even if we had gone with Aiden Wisniewski, we would have been pretty good. So that's good to know. It was tough to screw that up. Shout out to Patrick Laine. Pavel Laine. There you go. Power forward. Oh, Joseph was a power forward. Didn't have gold wheels, though. So, obviously, we made the right call. Svensson. Ugh. I mean, we knew Svensson wasn't going to be the guy anyway. Talbot, 79 overall DFD, but only a medium 4, so he's not going to get much better than what he is now. 2 goes 28th overall, no abilities, but it's a 71 medium elite. Maloney, 75 medium 4, that's not bad. There's Duclair, 79 medium 4. Really good year for DFDs, although the ceilings are questionable. That other goalie is still available for us here with this next pick. It's Hubbard. And he looked like maybe the better option between the two goalies anyway. We should, since we have under 7 minutes, we should still take a full look here at the team, at the players that are available that we could draft to the team. So judging by player types, let's see what we got here. I believe this was the last year, too, before we were going to dip the draft class quality back down a little bit, too. Obviously, you don't end up with as many generated players, or preemptively created players, I should say. Good old Griffin DeSantis. Ooh, medium elite power forward Chris Beach. Okay. All right, we got some options here. So let's see. For the goaltenders, there's a shatload of them. There's Reginald Van Riemsdyk. 5 years out at least, no shot. Rodney Blair, we don't know enough about you. Mason Allum will be the same way. Matthew Jelena. Luongo comparison, but unconfirmed amount of times out, or time out, and he's 19. Not great. Mark Chevalier. 5 years out. Schuland. Potentially 2 years out. Unconfirmed light work, not bad. But Hubbard, 1 year out. Nearly, I mean, not nearly confirmed mediumly, but it's Hubbard, clearly. Carter Essler. 2 years out. Jimmy Howard comparison? Jimmy Howard comparison. Of all the goalies, it's like, former U-Man Black Bear, Jimmy Howard. Okay, but I don't think I've ever seen that. That's like, yeah, this forward Martin Erat comparison, like, why? But okay. Clearly, Hubbard's the guy if we take a goalie. Defensively, we got Tommy the Gun Morrison. 4 years out, though. Spike Pagatawan. 3 years out. Okay. Michael Sulzer. 3 years out. Marcel Henrique. Unconfirmed, 3 years out. I'd trust the other two over him. Although, actually, he's not that bad. Holden Warner, son of Rhett. 3 years out. Oh, my God. Like, all these guys are 3 years out. I don't like that potential, though. DeSantis, in general, can suck it. Palapu's not looking that good. Okay. Right wing, there was Zach Henley. There's no way at 5'11" you're actually a power forward. There's no way. And then for the centers, there was Chris Beach, who is going to suck. Yeah, 5 years out, but he is a guaranteed medium elite, so that's the question. Do you take a risk on him? If we were to go for a defenseman, we'd go for one of the guys that are 3 years out. It is true, Beach should be available with our next pick. Should, unless somebody takes him early. Again, 33 teams in the draft, so, the math is pretty straightforward. If we go for one of the defensemen, it would have to be Sulzer over Pagadawan, just because I'd need to try and make more sure with the size. Don't get me wrong, we probably need a defender more than we need a goalie, but Cooper Hubbard could be damn good. Again, we're not actually allowed to trade. The problem is, if we don't take Hubbard and we take one of the defensemen, and they're not a DFD, horrific luck, right? Goalie-wise, right now, we have Versteeg. I did forget to look at the progress reports, but he went up by 3. Kirsch has grown to a low elite. I mean, Christian Kirsch is going to be good enough to be the guy. I mean, he's not going to be like a 90+, but since when do you need a 90+ goalie in this game? I mean, Kirsch is definitely someone to build around. Defensively, though, outside of Park, all we have is the 2 low elites. And then forward-wise, obviously, we're looking pretty good. Like, we drafted heavily into forwards. Bootland went up like 10 points this year, too, which is awesome. So, the biggest need is defense, but the safest pick is Hubbard. It is either Hubbard or Michael Sulzer. 3 years out for Sulzer, he's going to be looking at like a 65. The only way he's worth it is if he is a medium elite or a low elite. If he's a medium 4, he's going to be third pair at best. Hubbard's at least a little bit more of a guarantee, and maybe we could play the offer sheet chicken with the AI later on to get some extra draft picks later on. I gotta go with the safe bet, I think. If Sulzer was 1 year out, easily we take him. Let's go for Cooper Hubbard. 72 overall, medium elite. No abilities. Still a great goaltender, though. I mean, he's just as good, if not slightly better, than Eric 2, who went in the first round. That's a great pick. But again, it is the safe pick. Olam was a high starter. Essler was a high starter. Who else were we considering? Jelena was a medium elite, but only a 64. Well, so far we made the right choice. Blair was a high elite, but a 64. Yep, we made the right choice. Sulzer was an even lower overall than he initially looked. Definitely made the right choice there. Pagadawan was also a 62. They were both DFDs, but yeah, even though I don't really believe in like getting great goalies in this game, because when are they ever actually great? We made the right choice, no doubt. So third round, the pick is obvious. It's Beach. He's going to be a super low overall, but he is going to be a medium elite that we can try to build up. So Chris Beach, well, I say that. Let me double check. There's a goalie that, oh, Jesus. Well, we'll have to look at that guy later on. Is there like a guaranteed low elite? There is, but we can get him later. Okay. Yeah, we're pretty much on rails here then. So Chris Beach is the pick. 52 overall, medium elite, power forward down the middle. Again, long shot to make it, but we can try to brute force his development, so that's not too bad. Round number 4. This is where it gets interesting. I wish we could draft either of those two. In terms of potential, we got our eyes on Grabeshkov. There's also Jonah Duncan, a guaranteed DFD. Another goalie, another guy close to being a confirmed DFD. And there's a couple of players in the mix here. Ozelinch was a two-way, so I can't take him anyway. That sucks. DFD Jeff Sims. Anybody else? We got Henriksen. Like I said, I just need to get a short list here, and then we'll take a look at the players, see who the best of the bunch are, and then try to figure out our next move from there. I'm not worried about low. So this is the year 4 draft, yes. And yes, we got a solid pick. We missed out on a franchise-level power forward, but we got an 80 overall medium elite defenseman. So, all right. So if we look at the goaltenders that are left, there was Grabeshkov. Super high risk, high reward is the gem, not the guy. Gems, in my experience, more often end up being low top 6 forwards, low top 4 defensemen, and those potentials are horrific in this game, unfortunately. I think that system needs a massive rework because, in my experience, gems are worth it 1 out of 10 times, if that. Honestly, maybe even lower. So both these goalies are long shots. We already took a goalie this year. We don't got to worry about that. Defensively, obviously a lot of guys in the mix. Hudson Beck, Jonah Duncan, 19 years old, unconfirmed, 3 years out. Juha Lahunen. Jeff Sims. In fairness, though, with this gem, I mean, 2 out of 4 low elite probably is the call, but there's a really good chance he's a low 4, too. Duncan's at least guaranteed DFD. That's true. So, goodness. Sean McIver, Topi Tikkanen. None of these guys are slam dunks. Jeff Sims being 6'1" scares me in terms of he might not be the right player type. Right wing side, the only guy was Torsten Henriksen. He's another long shot, too. Nobody at left wing, and then nobody at center. So it's like all DFD and, or all defensemen and goalies at this point. So who's projected to go next? Duncan, Grabeshkov, Duncan or Grabeshkov. And at that point, it's pretty straightforward. We don't need to risk it on another goalie. We do need to risk it on a defenseman. And at least we know he's a DFD. So Jonah Duncan out of Assat, Liga. He is going to be the pick here, the Norwegian. It's okay. 60 overall, medium 4. Again, medium 4 is not even as good of a potential as it used to be. Plus, he's 19. My hope is he hits 75 to 78 overall and becomes usable. That's okay for a 4th round pick given our limitations, though. That's all right. 5th round. Actually, let's see how good Grabeshkov was. I'm intrigued. Obviously, earlier we took a Derek Legwand, by the way. Obviously, we took the goalie earlier instead of a defenseman. That was the right call. Grabeshkov, only a high starter. I'd say we made the right call again. 5th round. So it is either going to be Javon Duda. Is there really anybody else in the mix at this point in time? Duda, McIver. It's Duda or McIver. And again, we need defensemen more than goaltenders. So he's not a guaranteed DFD, but that with that height, he likely is. Let's go for Sean McIver. 63 overall, medium 6. That's not bad. That's not bad either. Worth a shot. Round number 6. We got to take a look at who's left from our list here. So the gem is still there. He would have to be selected now. It's either Sims, Henriksen, or Tikkanen. And for shits and gigs, we will go... See, Jeff Sims, though, he worries me that he won't actually be a DFD. He's only 6'1". But it could be the right player to take a risk on with the 6th round pick, right? Shout out to Paradise. Still a tremendous.
Taste the biscuit.
Thank you very much for the gift
Taste the
sub.
goodness of
Appreciate
the biscuit.
How you been? I wouldn't mind going for Henriksen, but I think it's can we look at the guaranteed low elite? No, because we couldn't draft him. He's a two-way. Although, yeah, you're right that he's 6'4". Maybe it would be worth risking it for him then. That's fair. Time to put on an Oilers jersey. Oh, goodness. I got the old McDave. As always, I have an air conditioner on. It's fucking hot in this office. But don't worry. You know, it's well represented. Well represented. It's one of my favorites in the collection, too. What a jersey. What a jersey. Not for a 5-year project. If he's a low elite, though, 5-year projects aren't always guaranteed to actually be 5-year projects. All right. So it's either Sims or, honestly, we could risk it for Ozelinsh and hope that he's not a two-way, but 3 out of 4, that's a bit scary. Sims also really isn't guaranteed to be what I need. But if Ozelinsh is an eligible player type, to get another low elite is fantastic. But who knows, Sims might be that player type too. Compete level, work ethic, bad shot utilization, it sounds like a DFD. Jeff Sims. It worked out this time. 18-year-old low elite defensive defenseman. He is only a 51 overall. But low elite is still a tremendous potential to get someone's overall to skyrocket. The gem works out for once, thank God. I mean, works out. The guy's a fucking 51 overall. Nighthawk, straightforward Goon Squad as you know it and love it. 7th round. Now, here's the thing. We're picking at the end of the 7th round because last year, if you recall, we drafted a guy in the 2nd round who was not eligible, so I had to do a 7th round pick swap with someone to get rid of him. So hopefully someone's still left that we might be able to get. To be honest, I had totally forgotten about. Thank God. Oh. I saw low elite 53, and the two-way, I read it as a power forward instead of a two-way. Oh, thank God. I just expected it to go wrong because so often these things do. Oh, thank God. That went well. We needed that to go well, and it did. Henriksen was... Ooh, man. I was going to take Henriksen, too. He might have been more worth it than Sims. But what's done is done. Either way, with one of those two, we couldn't have gone wrong. So 7th round, a low elite defenseman, Solnishkin's off the board. Let's just see who's left. Any of the players on our short list? 1, Juha Lahunen. Another defenseman. Juha, welcome in. Medium 7th. 7th round pick. Not bad. Not bad, all things considered. That was a pretty good draft for us. That's probably our most complete draft yet. Which came at a good time, given the fact that we missed out on the franchise-level power forward because this game hates me. Most sports games, as I've discovered, absolutely hate me. But here we are.